Hi, my name is McLean Friend, and today I'll be talking about introducing aquaponics systems into restaurants in Wellington, New Zealand, and the feasibility of that. So, as first, just an introduction to aquaponics systems. So, an aquaponics system is different than a hydroponic system, which is just using plants in water. An aquaponics system uses the symbiotic relationship, so the um, benefit of both species relationship of plants and fish. So, what I mean by that is the excrement from the plants goes into the fish container and helps the fish, and then the fish have excrements which go up into the soil for the plants and help them grow. So that's what a symbiotic relationship means. And so the need for aquaponics system is because as there's a population growth, as you can see in the middle graph, there becomes a decrease in quality of the food. This is just a general accepted practice because as you increase quantity, quality usually goes down. A way to avoid that is to have more organic and locally grown food compared to traditional farming where it's all mass produced. So when I was trying to determine whether aquaponics system would be feasible or not in a restaurant in Wellington, I made some assumptions to figure out whether the cost and production numbers would be satisfactory to what a restaurant would need to get all of their plants out of each production. The assumption that I made is that there's 50 plants, which is all basil, just for simplicity, and that the only fish is tilapia, and this number of fish depends on the size of the container, and it doesn't really affect the amount of output. So the last assumption is that the surface area is around 0.2 meters squared. So with those, the initial system is about $1,000, and the maintenance per year is somewhere between $50 and $100 per year. This produces about 0.2 to 2 kilograms per meter squared. If you do the math, this comes up to be 13 kilograms on harvest, which is a lot, but this is assuming that there's nothing wrong, there's no catastrophic failures, every single plant produces an average amount, which is not always true, so the number could be a little bit less than this, but that is way enough to provide for a restaurant during one harvest season. So the two other factors that I looked at were environmental and cultural. Environmental, I compared to the traditional farming techniques. So aquaponics uses about 1/10 the amount of water compared to traditional farming, and it requires no machinery or manufacturing after it's initially built. So there's no carbon emissions after the initial process. The other side is the cultural side. And Wellington is very known for two things. One being a very young city with lots of new ideas and new art and random restaurants and businesses all over the place. They're willing to try new things. Why aquaponics, I think, would fit well in the city, as well as they're very environmentally conscious community, and they are supported by the Wellington City Council to become more environmentally friendly within the next 15 to 20 years. So in conclusion, from the first two criteria, the cost and production is way plenty, and that should work perfect for a restaurant. The cost is very high initially, will end up paying for itself within 2 to 3 years. The cultural and environmental impacts were both positive from my research and would support the implementation of aquaponics in Wellington. So overall, the feasibility of implementing aquaponics into restaurants in Wellington are very high. Thanks so much for your time.